Hey guys, this is Sinister Kato back again with another video. So let's get right into the intro.
Deku get it on Macy Gray. Yeah. Raindrops, drop top, smoking on cooking the hot box. Fucking on your bitch, you thought.
I'm sorry that I haven't posted in a while. I tried to have a small break, but ended up catching a fever. But I'm back. I promise that I will post a new what if video tomorrow, or in 2 days. So without further ado, let's continue. Previously, UA recently had their annual sports festival where all the new students join and compete with each other, and there could only be one winner, and as you probably know, Deku won the whole thing. Now it's time to look at the present. With the sports festival behind them in the past, the hero students were scouted by pro heroes, who will be offering them temporary internships. 2 days after the sports festival event, Deku is still on training at UA. Meanwhile on the train, some of the passengers recognize him from the sports festival, acknowledging his raw strength and resemblance on All Might. At their class, the students of Class 1A are discussing the recognition they received from the sports festival. The class homeroom teacher, Aizawa, enters, causing everyone to hurry back to their seats. Shota has fully recovered from his injuries, no longer needing to wear bandages. Alright, if you guys don't mind shutting up, I would like to tell you about the hero internships. Aizawa yawned. If you did not know, pro heroes came to the festival to not only watch, but to scout for students, to join their agencies as an intern. Everyone then started getting excited and talking about who could have possibly scouted them to join, and that Deku would have probably caught the attentions of many heroes. Meanwhile, Aizawa showed the class their graph of nominations, telling them that the nominations are usually more balanced, but this year most heroes chose Bakugo and Todoroki more. Everyone wondered why Deku only got like 5 heroes that wants to recruit him. Aizawa then explained. Izuku, we talked to some pro heroes, but almost all of them didn't want you as an intern due to the fact that you intimidate them with your strength. Everyone was shocked to hear this, and Aizawa interrupted them. Izuku, Kamuwoods and Endeavor are one of the 5 people that wanted to recruit you. I suggest you pick either one of them. The class even more got shocked by this, mostly Todoroki because he was curious to why his father wanted to recruit Deku. At their next class, Midnight walks in and told Aizawa he could go to sleep and take a break, to which he did. So now everyone will be choosing their new hero name. Everything went the same as canon. Bakugo couldn't decide his. Todoroki chose his first name and Deku chose Deku as his hero name. If you guys have an idea, tell me in the comment below, and the one with the most like will be Deku's hero name. So at the end of the day, Todoroki tried to persuade Deku to join his father's agency so they both could have a rematch and train together. I should have told you guys that Deku has trained with Gran Torino from the beginning and met. That's why Deku knows about full crawling and all of the other stuff about One for All. So there's really no point of him going back to Gran Torino. So Deku ended up choosing Endeavor, and this made Todoroki excited, and that he said that he won't let Deku down. So days later, it was time for the day of the workplace field training. Aizawa is at the station alongside with his class to escort them to their workplaces safely. Aizawa told his students that while they do have their hero costumes with them, he reminds them not to wear them in public and not to lose them. He tells them to mind their manners and wishes them luck. Like in the anime, Deku comes up to Ida and tells him if he needed any help or comfort, he and Eureka are there for him, since they are friends. So when Deku arrived at the agency, he was greeted by Endeavor and Shoto. Welcome young man, I'm Endeavor. Endeavor said. For the following weeks, I will be training you to be the best and become one of the nation's best hero ever. Deku then smiled and said, pleasure to meet you sir. My name is Izuki Midoriya, and I hope we get along well. Endeavor then told Deku where he will be staying and what their training will be like. Endeavor then said, you will be staying with Todoroki and spar with him for endurance test, and after that, I would like to teach you ways about being a great hero. So for the first hour, Deku and Todoroki got up to the roof of the building and started sparring each other. Endeavor then shouted, both of you don't hold back, no mercy at all. So the fight literally was like in the canon, Deku trying his best to hold back from the ice barriers that Todoroki keeps on making, but this time, Deku doesn't get injured or anything. As the fight continues, Todoroki starts getting into it more and more, meaning that he's attacking Deku with stronger force. Meanwhile, Deku wanted to finish everything. He then covered his arm with muscle fibers, making a giant arm. He then shouted, "One for all." Giant Detroit Smash. As the punch was about to connect, Todoroki then made another ice barrier like the one he did with Zero, but 5 times larger. When Deku punched it, it completely turned into ice dust, then a loud tornado started to form, swiping everyone off to the edge of the building. Both Todoroki and Deku then starts to fall off, but then, Endeavor comes to the rescue by flying over to them. He then grabbed both kids, but as his flame starts to get weaker, Deku activated his muscle fibers on his legs, and then grabbed the father and son to land down. Endeavor then started to panic and yelled, "Are you out of your damn mind? There's no way that we'll survive that landing." Deku then smiled at him and chuckled, "Trust me on this one, Mr. Endeavor." Deku then tripled the muscle fibers on his legs, and it started to look like a giant's legs. It kinda looked like this, but 2 legs. As they were about to land, Deku then shouted, "Shoot style, Manchester Smash." He then tapped his legs on the ground and flew up to the top of the building. Endeavor then shouted, "Shoto," like it was his last words. Few minutes later, they all were fine, but Endeavor had to do some paperwork because of the incident that just happened. Todoroki then approached Deku and thanked him for what happened. Deku was confused to this and asked why is he thanking him. Todoroki then said that it's because he humiliated his father and made him suffer a little bit. Deku then replied by saying that it was no problem, but that it was kinda weird that Todoroki wanted to see his dad scream. The day ended and it was nighttime. Deku then realized that he wasn't learning anything for the time being, so he decided to train on his footworks. He then went to a neighborhood and started to climb over them by doing full crawling. He then started going faster and faster. This made him look like he was teleporting. At the end of the night, Deku was tired and went to sleep. For the next day, Endeavor actually trained both students by making them focus on strength and endurance again. For Todoroki, he had to make ice barriers as big as he could at the shortest time as possible and use his fire to melt it as fast he could. Then for Deku, Endeavor wanted to train him by making him dodge his fires and endure them to make his skin harder and immune to fire. The day ended with both kids tired and went to sleep. Now it's time for Stain to come. As you know, Ida is on patrol with his mentor, thus making him be there in Hosu City too. But the real fun began when Kurogiri warped himself, Stain and Shigaraki to Hosu. Shigaraki then notes that Hosu is quite prosperous, while Stain says his goal is to reform Hosu by sacrificing or killing the fake pro heroes that work there. Stain then told them on what he believed, that the title of hero should only be given to people who achieve great achievements. He then says that there are too many fake heroes that only work for money or fame. Stain then leaves to finish his business, saying that he will keep appearing until society realizes its error, and he then jumped off the building. Shigaraki then complained about Stain and brought his Nomus with him and ordered them to terrorize the city. Meanwhile, Deku was on night patrol with Todoroki and Endeavor. They were patrolling to catch villains, since they come out mostly at night. Deku then had an instinct about Ida and told Endeavor if he could go to a nearby public restroom. Endeavor then agrees and told Todoroki to go along as well. As they disappear from Endeavor's sight, Deku then told Todoroki that he has a feeling that Ida is on trouble and that he might die tonight. Todoroki then told Deku to stop joking, but as Deku explained why he thinks that, they both starts moving and looking at every direction and alleyway. Meanwhile, Stain is in an alleyway, overhearing the chaos in city and realized that Shigaraki has made his move. Stain decides to leave Shigaraki to his own evil doing while he finishes his business, preparing to kill the pro hero native with his katana. However, before doing so, Stain feels the presence of someone approaching him from behind and uses his katana to slash at the person, knocking the person down to the ground as well as knocking off the person's helmet. As the person turned around, it was revealed to be Ida. Stain sees that the person who tried to attack him was still a child, then told him to leave. Ida then got up, telling Stain that he has been searching for him and looked at the hero killer with anger and revenge in his eyes. Stain points his katana at Ida and says that he has sharp and scary eyes, warning him to not meddle with him and that if he did, he will also be targeted. Stain prepares to go and finish his job of killing the pro hero. But Ida stops him by telling him his brother's hero name and making sure that Stain will remember that name will take him down. Meanwhile, Deku and Todoroki find that city being trashed by Nomus and started to wonder why Ida is not there. They both then started getting worried. Then Deku figured out that Ida must be somewhere else looking for the hero killer, Stain, for revenge. The battle between Stain and Ida begins. Ida uses a high-speed kick, only to be dodged by Stain. Stain then smashes Tenaya into the ground and stabs Tenaya's shoulder with his katana. Stain says that Ida should have not act out of vengeance, since that is the act furthest from the title hero. Stain licks his bloodied katana and activates his quirk, which immobilizes Ida. Then as he was about to land his finishing move, Deku came out of nowhere with One for All activated. He then punched Stain on the face, knocking him onto a pile of trash. Both Todoroki and Deku then said that they are there to save both Native and Ida. Deku then asks Ida if he can move, but Ida tells him that he is paralyzed. Stain praises Deku for his efforts and threatens him that he will kill Ida if he gets in the way, asking the young boy what he will do next. Deku then thought to himself that there are two people injured and needed protection. He then told Todoroki to block off Stain. Ida then stupidly told both of his friends to run away, since this is his fight and has nothing to do with them. Deku then shouted at Ida to stop complaining and told him that a hero's duty is to protect people before themselves and that following Ida's orders won't do anything good. Deku then puts on a brave face and says that getting involved in other people's business is one of the principal qualities of a hero. Stain smiles at Izuku's statement. Todoroki then blocked off Stain and Deku activated full crowding and run towards the injured hero and Ida. He moved so fast that not even Stain could not believe the kid. Deku then told Todoroki to build a barrier between them and the injured people, separating them from the fight between the hero killer. Stain then smiled and said that he likes both Deku and Todoroki. He told them to move along and that he will spare them. Todoroki then charged with a flame shot, but Stain managed to dodge it and tried to cut him on the face, but Deku then appeared in front of him. Amazed by his speed, Stain backed down and tried to stab Deku. Deku then activated his muscle fibers and grabbed Stain's katana and snapped it in half as he noticed that his cheeks got cut. As he saw Stain try to lick the katana, Todoroki then fired a shot on him. Deku then asked if he noticed how Stain quirk works. They both started working together. Deku then charged forward Stain, but was quickly elbowed on the nose. Todoroki then froze Stain. Deku then punched Stain on the face, knocking him out. Deku then smiled at Todoroki and told him to call for backup. Deku then asked Ida if he was alright and all. Unfortunately, Stain was still conscious. He then laughed and told Deku that he is impressed by his actions and compared him to All Might. He then said that he will spare both him and Todoroki because they are worth to be alive, but except for Ida and Native. He then broke free and threw a dagger on Todoroki's leg as a warning, and then took it back and tried to lick it, but yet again, Todoroki fired a shot and disintegrated his blood. Deku then tackled Stain and prepared a blow. He shouted, "One for all. Detroit Smash." The hero killer then looked in shock as he was yet again punched by the boy and was on the verge of being out. Ida then tries to get up and started apologizing at his friends because he was too blinded by rage and he was weak. As he said this, both Todoroki and Deku smiled. They then looked at each other and shouted, "One for all, Hell and Blizzard Storm." Todoroki attacked using both of his quirks and Deku activated both his muscle fibers and one for all on his arm and punched Todoroki's fire and ice, making a small fire and ice tornado. This then hit Stain, which finally knocks him out and injured him very badly. Deku then quickly tied him up and told Todoroki to assist Ida and Native. Together they all escaped. Then, the heroes that Endeavor sent there arrive, who are surprised to see that a bunch of kids have defeated and captured Stain. Ida apologizes for his unheroic action, but Deku told him that it was all okay. Suddenly, the winged Nomu-like creature appears in the sky. Todoroki sees the winged Nomu-like creature above and told everyone to duck. The winged Nomu-like creature grabs Deku and prepares to fly away. Todoroki then prepares his fire to stop the Nomu and to rescue Deku. Shockingly, Stain regains consciousness and frees himself from the ropes with a blade up his sleeve. Stain licks off the winged Nomu's blood from one of the pro hero's face and activates his quirk. The winged Nomu-like creature becomes paralyzed due to Stain's quirk and stops flying, dropping Deku in the process. Stain stabs the winged Nomu's brain and defeats it, causing to fall to the ground. Stain grabs Izuku and saves him. Stain, despite being heavily injured, states that the fake pro heroes and the pathetic criminals in society are his targets for his kill and clean, saying that everything he is doing is for a just world. Deku and the rest were shocked by the hero killer's actions. Endeavor arrives and sees Stain. Endeavor prepares to launch an attack on him, but Deku tells him stop and hold his fire. Stain's bandaged mask falls off, revealing that he does not have a nose. This terrified everyone. Stain, despite his heavy injuries, steps forward and states that the fake heroes must be rectified and the word hero must be restored. He then challenged the fake hero to come forward to try and stop him. Stain continues walking forward and declares that the only one who is allowed to kill him is All Might. Stain unleashes a malicious and terrifying bloodlust which put fear into everyone's mind. One of the pro heroes even fall down out of fear. Todoroki and Ida fall to their knees, while Deku and Endeavor becomes tense and take a step back. Stain takes a step forward, but the injuries of his damaged lungs due to his broken ribs causes him to finally lose consciousness. Everyone is shocked and stunned that, even though the hero killer lost consciousness, Stain is still standing. That is, ladies and gentlemen, the end of What If Deku Had Muscular's Quirk Part 5. Sorry that it took so long, but I hope you could forgive me. If you could please like and share